Spring is over. Summer is on its way. Welcome to the Patch Note Show once again. It's 4.7 Pillars of Success is the name of this patch. Joining me to start things off, as per usual, is Hyra's Chuck, Hyra's Fishman, and finally at the end, Hyra's Ajax as well, to go through all the fantastic content to start the day off. I'm going to go straight into it because it's going to be a long patch here today.
Oh yeah.
With Vampiric Cellar is the first thing we've got to show you today. We'll be going to that any moment now. You can see the card out for that. Chuck, how's the skins been looking this week? The good skins?
Yeah, this particular one, no, they're good. This particular one
they're kind of crap.
was kind of interesting because Eric was doing the summer logo and then he had to put it on this skin and he's like, what's happening? I'm putting the summer logo over a vampire. The reason for this is that we wanted this skin because of its positioning to be awesome, and this was just the most awesome thing we had around. Looking at Vivian's sketches, I was like, we need that. That's what it's going to be.
Sick.
Yeah.
I feel like we've gotten a lot of requests for a little bit darker, edgier Scylla too.
Yeah.
And there's a nice little look early on. I like the bat wings on her ears too.
Yeah, look. No, she's got bat wings on her back that flap.
Oh, she does?
Little cute little wings.
Yeah. She's always a misinterpreted little girl, this one.
Her
she
hair
comes
piece
across
is
quite
cool,
cute,
too.
but
Yeah,
not the same.
and she's got the bat dogs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And this is the one we had a nice spoiler for that the community had a fun time trying to guess what it was for.
Did anyone get it right, is the question?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they did. A couple
and
people.
she's got bats on all the things, which was my art direction.
Hang on, what was that?
Preview.
Bats on all
Preview.
the
Spoiler
things.
alert.
Spoilers early on. We'll get to what
Way
that
to
was.
go,
New
Pawn.
customizable content.
And start things off. There's an Odin bot. And we'll see the second first of all, and the basics maybe. I think
I'm
we just saw
looking
some
forward to
basics.
these effects.
Dog
I like
Dog
even
'em.
the basics look awesome.
She sounds real quiet to us. Hopefully the stream is hearing him loud and clear.
Yeah,
That's better. It's already getting better. I can hear it climbing.
Yeah.
Bat dogs. Bat crush.
I like
That's the
that
symbol.
kind of fluor
Ooh, nice. I like the explode.
pattern in there.
Little bat blast.
Sentinel as well.
Play this skin along with Camazots for maximum effect.
Kaminots. I like that name.
Camazots. That's
A new skin coming out,
Yeah.
confirmed. He's just like rope.
We've already got a jungler and a solo locked in. Play Camazots.
Man, Odin's OP, he took no damage from that level 20 Scylla ult.
Yeah. Wait for the balance notes, alright? Odin is now immune to everything.
Health did not even
The All-Father.
Calm down. Let's not go too far. We've been in that world before where Odin was crazy. And it also comes with a voice pack, so we can have a little listen to that as well when Pompon gets his ready. I think he wants to show the Executor gas.
He's just going to kill a whole pile of them.
10 Odins. The old double penta. Difficult to achieve online, but always worth it.
Pawn, why is one of your O's in your name not an English character? It's
He
Gray
didn't change his name.
P square N.
That's why. As he was going to change his name before the stream, and he didn't. That's why.
Okay, let's be quiet now for the voice pack for this one.
Whoa. Whoa. You're so good. Yank! Attack! Attack left lane! You're so good. I'm a natural-born killer. All right, this is where you hide and I go seek. I can smell the fear in your blood. I always wanted to join my middle school death metal band, but they told me I suck. Black is my homeboy. Mess with me and you'll regret it.
Thank you, Pom Pom. Moving swiftly on to the next skin in this patch is going to be Modern Messenger Mercury.
Oh, yeah.
Say that 3 times fast.
Keeping on the
Modern Messenger
our
Mercury.
modern theme
Modern
skins.
Messenger Mercury. Modern Messenger Mercury.
We had a
It's
lot
almost like you speak for a professional living.
Yeah, I guess that's
Good
the
at
case.
that. We should get you on that.
Sometimes I'm not too bad at it.
I'm still looking for an unprofessional living.
He looks like a parkour specialist. Like this.
That is a perfect way to describe Mercury if he was living in modern day countries, right? He'd
So
just be,
everybody had such good feedback and liked the
what?
Nemesis skin that we wanted to do the same with Mercury.
The
Tats on the
tattoos.
arms as well.
did.
That's a really cool tattoo.
We wanted to do it, and we did.
What's it? Is that a star in his hair that he's got tattooed on?
Yes.
Ah.
He's fast.
He's got to go fast.
He's still got the wings on his shoes. That's an important thing. He has to
we
have
kept
those.
That. Yes.
That'd be a bit strange if they
that
weren't.
is
Oh, the wing
Those
shoes.
worked in really cool.
I remember we discussed the shoes for like way too long. We were like, we have to get wings on here.
Somehow.
It's
I like
pretty
the way we did
important
it.
how that jump. Oh,
Kicking the leg back.
Is that his
He's just so
combat
happy.
jump?
Yeah.
Or what? His
I didn't
combat
even-
jump is that
you know,
one.
I didn't even remember that one.
That one. I
is,
like that one. That's the
yeah.
superhero pose.
Well, but what was the? I don't remember the arm wave. Wow.
Oh, that's still 10 Odins right there, Pawn. You're going to crash.
Yeah, let's not overdo it there, Chief.
Oh, he's got a kind of a purple effect scheme, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of a purple, golden, orange mixture.
That's maximum velocity for those at home, the two.
Yeah, Saka. Maximum BM skin, by the way.
Oh, so originally, you know how on normal Mercury the little design under him spins when he's in that mode? Juan had that thing spinning, and I couldn't even look at it because I was about to barf. I was like, dude, you got to turn the spin off on it. No, it was like immediate vertigo set in, and I was like, Blarg! So we made it not spin.
I really like
But
the
it was
purple.
hilarious.
It's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's
Mercury
turned out
never
really
had
nice.
that
The
color scheme
purple
yet.
orange combo is not something we have a lot of.
Now this one
looked nice.
has a voice pack as well, which Pom should hopefully have ready.
Yeah. Is that Greg from the modeling department? Did he do?
That is the illest.
The voice?
You are wild. Yeah, I'm amazing. That is the illest. What's good? Have fun. See these kicks? They're about to roundhouse kick you in the nuts.
Oh, Tina.
Good job, Tina.
That's a classic Tina.
I'm sorry, I can't hear over the sound of my awesomeness.
That's Tina.
Oh, it sounded like he was talking to AJ for a second.
Did he have a different taunt animation than normal
Dude,
Mercury?
you are so 2000 and late.
That's different.
Yeah,
right?
that is different.
That's pretty cool.
I feel the influence of John Wynn.
Yes, I see it as well.
I am so awesome.
You're definitely
I wanna
right
be
on that
you
one.
Just so I can be my friend.
But that's not all in this patch. That's 2 skins down, a couple more still to go. And the next up is the Sparrow Nike, or Nike, whichever way you want to say it. I don't care.
I prefer Nike, but
Booty.
superhero.
pose.
That's the first thing I see is booty, is the first thing.
She's just moving away from the camera.
She's on her way somewhere.
It's not her
Is that
fault.
The last thing to
She
leave
goes
the
to the bad guy
destination
by
is the
the hood.
booty.
Yeah,
Chuck, who is
yeah.
that she's got by the forehead, by the
I
robe
can't
there?
tell. It looks like
kinda
some
like
type of villain.
Looks like a Dark Lord Sun Wukong to me.
Camazotz?
Yeah.
I could see someone come.
It could be. In game, you can see she
Oh,
looks
nice.
a lot like a superhero. I guess that was the sort of angle we were looking for here,
That
Chuck.
is exactly what we
Well,
were
you
doing.
hit it with me. That's the main thing.
I wanted to have the silver metal sliver wings.
Which those
That's
are
what I
Turns
wanted to
out
have.
super well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
They
Those
look
are phenomenal.
So cool.
So, and it was just a fitting characterization for Nike. So, we did it.
I always forget what the two's
Glowy.
called. I know that one is Rend, but I don't know
Plan
what the
of
two is.
action.
Pon, you want to bring up the K screen real quick? Stop making us look
No,
bad.
no, AJ had it.
Valiant Leap. I know.
Yeah.
I forgot Valiant Leap. I knew Sentinel of Zeus too, though.
The 2 is called
Trust me,
Try
Leap.
Not to Use It on Your 3.
It's Leap, Ult, and Rend is what they are called
Yeah.
in that order.
So she's got a little bit more of a comic booky electricity type of theme here.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
a cool ground pound.
Let's go, team! Superhero landing, 10 out of 10.
Classic.
And the ult.
Gonna get spicy.
I like that.
She's got a big winged mask on too.
Yeah, it's hard to see it from the actual player's perspective, but she has this cool silver, reflective, smooth
Pano
mask
camera
that,
rove it for us.
Of
Yeah.
course,
covers her
Pom-Pom has
face.
it.
Boom.
Oh, that's sick.
Open for business. I really like the little radiating energy on her too. That's sharp.
I love that little electricity effect when she lands on the ground after the leap. Very valiant leap.
And on top of that, she has a voice pack as well, so Pom-Pom, do your best.
Woohoo! You're sidekick worthy. Just saving the day. That was insane! Woohoo! Still struggling with a comeback, are we? Don't do anything your mom wouldn't do. No
one ever taught you any manners? So what's a superhero's favorite joke? The punchline!
Okay.
I'm dying.
Man,
me too, Nike.
you know, but she was really like feeling her own joke.
She was.
The SMITE, whether or not the audience thinks so, the SMITE characters themselves always find their jokes very funny.
A couple of them are like, oh, do I have to read it?
Quiet, man!
Okay.
Thanks, Pon.
Okay, Pon.
Kids just suck and get sucked into things. Like plane engines. It's just a no-brainer.
What was going on in that line?
Did Pun just something sucked and got sucked into a plane engine?
I
Capes.
remember proofreading
Capes.
this, but I don't remember that
I know
line.
what that is. That's
it's the capes.
Capes versus
No-
wings.
no
it's
capes.
the two superhero flight.
well, and it's in what the
Device
Incredibles.
choices.
Yeah,
Is that
no,
the thing? Is no capes?
Yeah.
I'm firmly on the cape side, but
Well,
teach his own.
Next up
And practical fish.
is another skin that's available in this patch as well. There is one more after this, just so you know, if you can score at home for how long the patch notes take on this section. It's not going to be as long as we have been in the port before. Secret Order.
I was like, what?
I was like, Skeet. For some reason, I was trying to say secret and saying
Doing a little
secret.
freestyle.
I was.
Ski.
Secret Order Ul is the next one, and I don't even know what this looks like. This is the only one I'm
Oh,
definitely
come on.
card art for.
Pronounce
Ooh,
ooh
yeah.
correctly, but you can't say secret. How does
Secret. I can do it now.
Secret Order.
Imagine if Uller was
Order.
jumping from rooftop to rooftop.
I'm not
you know,
quite getting the reference you're making
climbing
there.
buildings.
Gotcha. In a white cloak and
And then
Oh, a terrible movie?
And yeah, ganking people.
a bald head. Maybe.
He's not an assassin because he's a hunter, but he ganks people.
He has a personal code of some sort.
Into game we go.
Ooh.
It's a lighter blue than the card art on that.
Well, it's a darker setting, and it's like
I know.
a
I
night
was just,
scene,
I was
you
just
know?
saying because the fans
that
at home
shoulder
they'll
piece.
point that out first, like we're all colorblind or something, and we can't tell the difference between light and dark. I'm
if
just
they
saying.
want to do that, you can let them.
I will, Chuck. I will. I tell you what. I'll be.
You got
I'll be
any other things that you feel like we did wrong that you want to talk about?
Sure, let's go.
never stopped you, Chuck.
What we'll do, Chuck, is every single patch, right? If everybody at home wants to send me tweets of the things that they didn't like about the artwork, me and Chuck can have a debate live on air 5 minutes before patch note about everything that they didn't like. How's that?
GG, thanks for your support.
No problem.
That format's not going to work. You need like some happy, upbeat guy who defends everything instead of like two salty guys.
It's like-
we're both like, that's trash about everything anyway. Like, you got to have a straight man for that.
I'm only salty if you look at it that way. Right, let's go through these abilities then, because there's 8 of
Yeah.
these, technically.
You are mine.
7.
You are mine.
Nice.
Sparkly golden
Yeah.
arrows.
It's almost got a bit of a paladin kind of feel to it. He's a good guy. Suler's a good guy.
He's a noble executioner.
Yeah, he's like Robin
Along
Hood.
those lines. Yeah, yeah. A little more murdery, maybe, but yeah.
The noblest of murders.
Yeah. So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Greater crime.
We got some nice like lingering
Yeah.
feathery particles going on, which look really
I like
cool
the double
too.
axe in his leap.
Yeah, and Edward's pretty sweet graphic design there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is cool. Didn't even notice that.
Yeah, we're
With the bow.
that's
yeah.
right. It's
Very
conveying
nice.
which part of the kit you're in. That is cool.
And on top of this, it does have a voice pack as well, so Pompon, let's go.
Great
Oh,
stab.
hey, can we get close? He's got kind of this sweet,
I swear,
satiny
Chuck.
finish.
I swear, if I throw to a voice pack one more time, and then you start talking, we're going to have issues.
We're here so we can talk,
Let's
right?
have a look at the close-up of the skin that Chuck wants to do, first of all.
That was mean our mics.
Pull it back.
It's got this sweet kind of satiny finish. Don't go inside
inside
it.
him?
I can see his kidneys.
You have to be able to see him moving around a little bit, but it's pretty swanky.
sparkly glow.
I like the
You know, there's like a
embroidery.
shimmer.
A shimmer.
when he
That's
moves,
sure a shimmer.
but he doesn't shimmer when he's standing still.
Pon, why can't you animate the character and rev the camera and play the voice pack?
You're
and,
the
And
worst.
make us, oh, he did it! How did he do that?
Well,
He's
he did it by
got
crashing the game in just a second
Impressive
watch.
powers.
I don't even know how
Please
he
don't
did that.
crash.
That was a numlock camera rove
Anyway,
combo.
I digress.
Yes.
Let's listen to the voice pack.
Please, Chuck, continue with the voice pack.
Great
Just cue it
stab.
up now.
Great stab. Excellent. I am popular. Yes,
I am popular.
I am popular.
That's a
I am
good one.
popular. Yes. You are next on my list. Eventually, you will die by my arrow. What do you call a group of rogues? A surprise party. Get it?
That's pretty good.
I'm known for stealthy gas bombs. They call it the silent killer.
Fart joke?
Classic fart joke.
Thank you, Bo. That's my favorite voice pack so far, actually. I really like that one.
Because he's a medieval Batman.
Can we have I'm the Greatest one more time?
I am popular.
He's like the happiest assassin at Murder Middle School.
Well, speaking of someone who is popular as well, is also getting a skin, it's Giannis. He's getting a nice new skin for himself as well. World Walker Giannis is available, and ooh, does he look magical there?
Yes, we have this particular image of this elaborate Tibetan dagger that we used as the art direction for this. But wait till you see what Mike did with the portals.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yes,
we go.
I'm excited to see. I got a little sneak peek yesterday. We played him.
Oh, he looks awesome. He looks really good.
It's dope.
His face is angrier, meaner than
He's got
normal
two.
Giannis'
He's got a
faces.
cape.
The cape was a
The
key. I
cape
remember
was
it
the new addition. We took
Capes are
off
better.
some flaps. See, he doesn't have side flaps. We took off some flaps, and then we put the cape on. That was the thing we definitely wanted
I
to do.
remember that as a key selling point when we were brainstorming this skin.
Does the cape sometimes get stuck in the pole as it closes behind?
Yeah, if you don't make it through in time, yeah, he
Do you
gets.
lose the cape? That's the question.
It's exactly what
Yes,
Nike was
instead
talking
of,
about in her skin.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
They need to. They
We
need
have
to.
no
you
capes
gotta
and a
think
cape
about
skin in the
this.
same batch.
Oh, that looks cool.
All right, do the
And
portal.
he hit someone to pump on you. God.
Do the portal on the ground.
Oh, that's dope.
Yes.
Look
Oh,
into
that's
it.
dope.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Okay, that
I
is
didn't
cool.
even notice that playing him yesterday. Wow, that's so cool though.
I didn't know we could do that.
Can you just put it up
I
against
guess
the
I
wall?
was too busy getting
again?
1-2 comboed by him.
The magic of Mike.
That
Do
is
with that what you
super,
will.
That's super.
See what you did
That's
there,
our secret
Chuck.
over at Hi-Res. Magic Mike.
It's like Catherine wheels. Do you call them Catherine wheels over here?
Those,
I don't know what that is, so
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
not.
No, we don't.
It's the firework that spins.
Yeah, we don't call them that.
Right. I just realized
All
I
our
was in
fireworks
English club.
have redneck names.
Oh, the Sable Vortex is really good too.
You're not wrong. And I don't even mind them in a firework.
I especially liked the firework where they stole Raw America off the internet
yeah,
and
printed
used
it on
it
the
on the
label.
box.
Yeah.
The Raw America art gets stolen a lot.
So he has these sweet kind of geometric magic shapes
You
that,
can really see it in
that
the
he
two.
uses. Yeah, really in the two. And then he's got the depth portals.
I need this skin.
And the sparkler
it's pretty
out
awesome.
borders are.
I like the
Yeah.
the orb he's charging up. It's very detailed.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, I like how it has a spiral trail on the
I
ultimate.
like how actually like would happen to you in gameplay. Pon tried to go in the portal and it closed right in front of him.
Okay, it comes with
Working
a
as
voice pack
intended.
We should
as
buff
well.
that.
Let's have a listen to the voice pack.
Woo!
Hey, before we look at the voice pack,
Yeah, Chuck, what do you want to talk about now, buddy?
so can we?
It's not me you're upsetting. Trust me, it's not me you're upsetting. I'm
Can
just trying to
you-
help you guys out here.
I'm trying to see if there's a way we can. Oh God, Pon, come on! Can we see the two faces easily?
When does he switch?
How close can you get the
He's- when
camera
he
if you wheel
triggers his
forward?
passive.
So
That's
he's
the other
got
face.
his man face.
He should.
The other one's on the back of his head, right?
He has to.
Yeah.
He has to fire an ability right now.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Too slow, Palm.
The demon kind of
And he's
face.
got the demon face. Yeah. All right.
Can we do
Carry
voice pack
on.
now, Chuck?
Carry
Thank
on.
you. Voice pack, please.
Thanks. Woo! You deserve an award. Glorious! I'm simply fascinating. Gank! Gank! Forget everything you think you know. The chance of me winning is pretty high. It's pronounced Giannis, not Anus. My father didn't name me after yours.
What?
Damn.
Okay.
I'm sorry I hurt your feelings when I told you you suck, but I honestly thought you knew.
That's starting to sell me that voice pack now. You got me towards the end of that.
Smart ass skin, that's for sure.
That's my kind of skin. Pretty much.
Better than a dumbass skin.
I bet Tina puts that in a voice pack now.
Someone back in the studio write that down.
Well, that's all we've got in terms of new skins this patch. But while we still have these guys here as well, we're going to quickly go over the fact that the summer split is on its way as well. And with the summer split, obviously we have to announce all the stuff that's going to be available for you guys in the summer split too.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to start off with 2017 Summer Split Pass Bundle. We'll give you the Vampiric Scylla skin that we just saw.
Hype.
The right to vote on the season games. And on top of that, you also get bonus quests for FP, double FP for matches, 15 team FP boosters, 2 times of total received, and 15 team worshipper boosters, 2 times of total received. I thought you were going to kiss me and I was excited. I'm not going to lie.
Those
We waited a long time for the
boosters,
show.
man.
Chuck, and I was like, come on.
Yes, I've been waiting so
The dream's
long.
happening.
No, it's not.
I thought we were getting the right to vote from this bundle. I was
Right
like,
to
that's
vote.
an important bundle. You should all get that.
The right to
like,
vote,
if this
yeah.
is the one.
Now, that's
Go out
just with
and
the normal bundle. You can get the Summer Split Pass with points bundle, which will obviously come with all that stuff, plus 2,500 fantasy points as well. And the season ticket rewards for you guys at home, which should hopefully be able to show some of it. We saw a little bit earlier on of the season ticket jump stamp, the new feature, which will be more, I guess there's going to be more of those coming out as time goes on.
Customize your jumps.
Customize as you jump, you'll leave a nice little stamp on the ground, as you saw Pom Pom was doing in the game there. There is also a Sol Announcer Pack, which we're not able to show you just yet, as it's still being finished off, but the Sol Announcer Pack will be in that, as well as the 2017 season ticket music theme and the Roman Recall skin. What's a Roman Recall skin, boys?
It's a.
So did you see the Celtic recall?
Yeah.
It's a Roman
It's a
themed,
Roman
yeah,
version.
Pantheon themed
It's
recalls.
actually
Just check it
it's
out.
pretty cool.
Do you play this game, Hindu?
I'm
And
sorry.
come on, Soul, by the way, the goddess in Smite, Soul announcer pack.
That's what's
I feel
up.
like we didn't really emphasize that enough.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Hey guys, we're on the Sol Announcer Pack.
It's pretty cool.
Can
Yeah.
Chuck talk during it?
Yeah.
That would be the best.
Chuck talks to
It's
me.
just Chuck the whole time interrupting Soul.
Hey Sol, have you seen my keys? It's just that over and over again the whole time. And also,
Triple. Hey, Soul.
the skin that will be available in that as well is the Modern Mercury Messenger skin, is also part of that, of the fantasy points. So with the season ticket and all that, that's all you need to worry about there. As well as ranked reward for the Summer Recall skin will also be available for the ranked reward during that as well. Gentlemen, pleasure. We'll be back to you guys very, very shortly.
Yes, we
After
will.
the patch notes.
For that
So
other
big
thing.
stuff coming up.
The
But
other thing.
While they're getting themselves ready, I'm going to throw over to the community team right about now. It's Hi-Res David and Hi-Res Savvy standing by right about now. Hello, boys and girls. How you doing?
Hello, what's up, Hindu man?
That jacket, why does it say die on it?
This is just how I feel to everyone, all the time.
So give me a sec. Oh, there we go. My mic got muted for a second then. So the last words I was going to say is, why has your jacket got dye on? And then I disappeared. So how you two both doing this week, Savvy? How's things?
Things are good. It's been a busy week, but it's been a good week.
Awesome. Well, we're coming over to you while we get ourselves set up for the patch notes. But David, first of all, we want to go a little bit more in the detail about the skins this week as well, about how you can get them. Because we always avoid that subject, and we're starting to try and turn our attention towards it now. So you're here to tell me exactly how I can get some of these skins.
That's right. As you mentioned, the Vampiric Scylla skin is part of the Summer Split Pass, along with all of those other great rewards that you get. Are that amazing Janice skin. We hadn't seen the portal effect yet.
I know.
And
that was
seeing
insane.
that live for the first time was insane. That skin, along with that Sneaky Uller skin, are both going to be in a new Astral Assassin chest. That was a lot of a almost bad word that I didn't want to say.
Okay.
And that sweet Nike skin will be direct purchase.
Yes.
Oh, direct purchase. I've not heard that for a while, you two.
Yeah, I know,
Cut
but
it.
she's
Cut
coming.
Well,
Purchase her.
it's about time that starts to happen again. I'm just saying. Just saying. So All and Giannis on chests, yeah? And Nike's direct purchase, and then Scylla's in the thingy, so that's where everyone can get them. Awesome. Savvy, on top of that, isn't there something going on this weekend? Is there any events or anything that people need to know about?
Oh, yeah. We've got more than one event because Earth Day is this weekend. So we're going to be having an Earth Day sale. You can get half off some of your favorite Earth-inspired skins. In addition, on Saturday, the official day for Earth Day, you can complete one first win of the day and unlock the Save the Earth Geb emote.
Cool.
So that's awesome.
What about-
And
Oh, okay. I was about to say, is there any more?
and we've got 1,000,000 billion lands coming up. So we're doing double fantasy points. So you can stock up. all
Oh,
weekend long.
really? Awesome.
Yes.
So that's what about tomorrow? We got anything special tomorrow?
I don't know. I hear tomorrow's a special day, April 20th. I think we're all taking PTO.
Oh, we are?
I think so.
Awesome. Well,
Something about the color green, I'm not really sure.
It's my
love
favorite
green.
color.
I love green, especially on days like that. You two, thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks for the update as well on the skins and stuff. We'll see you all again soon. If you need to get in touch with them, you can find them both on Twitter and the Reddits every single day. That's Hira Savvy and Hira's David. But now it's time to move on to everyone's favourite time. It's patch notes. And my boy Pon is ready. Pon, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
I'm excited about this patch because you've done a few things in here that I'm surprised at.
Yeah, I think we have a lot to cover.
So
we have some rank stuff. We have a whole bunch of balance stuff for both items and gods. And I actually did you a favor and divided bugs and balance changes.
I know. I'm so proud of you. So we can just skip over those in a little bit.
No, we have to go over them still.
Why?
It's just now people won't be confused thinking that god's getting a balance change and then it's a bug change.
It's like 2 pages of bug fixes that should have been fixed already, Pon.
But they're fixed now, and we have to talk about it.
Well, let's start off with ranked summer split, first of all. With spring coming to an end, the spring split is over.
Yes, it is over. So any rewards that were going to be coming out from the God leaderboards or getting Grandmasters are going to be coming out, and the summer split is starting with a soft reset, and everyone has to requalify.
So soft reset, you got to requalify with your 10 games as usual?
Yep. And so just so everyone's clear on soft reset, it's your MMR is basically a bell curve. A lot of people are in the center. Some people are on the outside of it. Now everyone's getting squished together in. People who are still really good are still going to be on the top end of the bell curve, but they'll be closer to the middle so that everyone can kind of regrow and requalify. And it's like a soft reset.
So where are you positioned in that?
I was like maybe top 5%, I think.
Okay.
I don't quite remember.
Okay. So soft reset is the first thing to mention. Players will have their matchmaking rating adjusted towards the average, which you mentioned. God leaderboards as well. All players who place at the top of God leaderboard will receive a gem bonus in 4.7 is live. God leaderboards will have been reset for the summer split, and we've also increased the number of games required to qualify for placement from 5 to 10 for the God leaderboards.
Just for the God leaderboard, and that's mainly, there are a few people who, the way your kind of God leaderboard is calculated has a lot to do with your placement in ranked.
Okay.
If you're a master level player and you win 5 games, it's more important than if you're a bronze person win 5 games. So we weight heavily your rating, but after 10 games, people could go like, after 5 games, we could go like 5-0 and be really high up.
Sure.
So now you have to do 10 games. It's harder to go 10-0. People who are really good with the character will generally rise above those people who have to play 10 games.
Okay, other things to do with ranked as well. Back-end adjustments. There have been a number of back-end adjustments to allow for more accurate and improved placements.
Yep, bug fixes, small tweaks to the system. That's one of the benefits of having a split system, where we kind of can reset 3 times a year, is if we see something going on in the first split, we can really quickly fix it for the second split.
Awesome. On top of that, there is also placement after qualifying updates. Adjusted how players are placed out of qualifications to make it more difficult to obtain a very high division. Yep. So what's the highest division you can get then?
It can still be very high, but it'll be a lot harder.
Right.
For the people who were soft reset, you're likely, as long as your MMR was actually at a diamond level or a master's level, you could qualify back there. But if you were someone who's qualifying now or someone who didn't really belong there, it's going to be much tougher for you to get up there.
Okay, cool. On top of that, tribute point losses. Players will now be able to see how their earned TP is calculated at the end of match lobby.
Yeah, a lot of people are kind of confused how the system works, how like your TP is determined. It starts at 11, and then you get plus or minus modifiers for how favored the match was to go in your way.
Okay.
Also, as well as another modifier that is if your MMR and your division are different, they kind of bring it close together. So now you actually be able to visually see how your TP is being calculated to kind of better inform how the system works.
Awesome. On top of that, there's also lobby ordering updates as well, which is the first 2 players in picks and bans lobby will now be your top 2 players sorted by MMR.
Yeah, so when you're the 2 pro players in the game, you have controls over picks and bans now.
But what about the bottom 3? I don't know who the bad one is.
Well, the bottom 3 are randomized. They're going to be the same as always, so you can't pick on them.
Damn.
You can't be a rude dude.
So can I just pick on all 3 of them then if I'm the top pick?
But then they have the majority, so they can pick back on you.
I don't care. The scrubs, the lower reload than me, right?
See, you're a rude dude.
I'm just being honest. Like, I'm just going to do what the community does too, right? On top of that, there's also selected from any owned god. Players can now pick from all owned gods during the picking and banning phase in ranked. Players will still need a minimum mastery count to queue for ranked. So does that mean I can play a god that I've not mastered in ranked?
It means you could do that. It also means that if you haven't mastered Khepri and your first pick wants Khepri, or like your 4th pick, your first pick wants to pick you Khepri, but he can't because like he didn't actually master it because he doesn't like playing Guardians, then he can actually now pick it for you as long as he owns it. So it should make it so that teams can actually draft it a little bit more appropriately.
Okay, so have the god pack and you shouldn't have any issues in your ranked games anymore of having people who've not
Or just
mastered
play
gods.
a ton to unlock everything.
Well, play a ton to look on. On top of that, there is ranked TP decay. TP decay has been updated to be more intense due to the shorter split durations. TP decay will begin after 2 weeks of not playing ranked and will become more intense, capping out at 6 weeks. So it goes from 2 weeks of 2 TP per day lost, 3 weeks, 4 TP per day lost, 4 weeks, 6 TP, all the way up to 10 weeks 6 weeks, which is 10 TP a day lost.
It's about, so if you were to play the first day, qualify, and then never play again, you lose about 1 whole tier.
Okay.
So you go from like Platinum 5 to Gold 5. And it also stops at Gold 5. You can't demote any lower than that.
So Gold 5 is the lowest you can do up to.
The big thing is we want to make sure that players who are playing consistently, because like they're dealing with meta changes, people develop things, they're more in kind of tune to the meta versus someone who plays day 1 and then never plays again.
Sure.
They could still be Diamond 1 even though they don't know any of the new meta that developed over the entire split. So we're just making sure that players have to kind of keep playing, keep being invested in this, so that like, they're still in the ranks, they're still aware of what's going on and everything like that.
And then also playing a single game will reset the timer for the decay to begin, so make sure you keep playing. And you can now demote through TP decay up to Gold 5.
You couldn't do that before.
But you can now.
You can now.
There you go. So if you're in Masters and you don't play, then you're going to go all the way down to Gold 5 if things go wrong.
Well, actually, the split can't last that long.
Can it not?
It's literally about 1 division is how it works out. If you play day 1 and then never play again.
You are right. Miscellaneous then. When receiving gems, favor, fantasy points, etc., your notifications will now also tell you the amount of the currency received.
Yeah. So now you actually know if that gem gift was like 5 or if it was 500.
Woohoo. That's a good start. And now onto the new section of the patch notes.
The bug section.
The bug section. I don't know how often this section is. This section going to always be here, do you reckon?
If we have bugs to fix, which is pretty much always.
So this is always going to be here then?
Yes, it will always be here, and we will always have to go over it. Actually, this first one I think you will like, even though you're like, oh no, bugs. But like, this is more like a really nice update.
Well, here we go. You can see some on screen. Relics, new audio effects 4, Sundering Spear, Phantom Veil, Horrific Emblem, and Bracer of Undoing. Not only that, visual updates for Phantom Veil, Bracer of Undoing, and Cursed Ankh as well. Also, a new icon. Blink Rune has been updated to better differentiate itself from Teleport Glyph.
It's orange. It's like an orange color.
Hooray, I can tell the difference.
Very different.
Next up is Mystical Mail. Fix an issue where Mystical Mail damage was not scaling with items like Runeforged Hammer.
Yep.
You let that through.
Damage modification.
Stone of Gaia. Stone of Gaia should now stop Ares' ultimate no escape properly.
Because it is a pull.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but it's coded differently was the issue we're having, right?
They're, especially like how like certain characters handle certain effects, things can be coded differently.
Sure.
Stone of Gaia now works with that.
And then it's onto God bug fixes. That was item bug fixes. Now we got God bug fixes too. Yeah, don't get excited. All you little nerds out there are all excited about these.
Dude, I'm excited about these.
I'm not, because it just
I guess I'm a nerd. It's fine.
Mozen Car Bees updated the description of this ability with the correct radius for this ability.
Yep. That's actually almost all of these.
Arachne, Nightcrawler, updated the description of this ability with the correct radius for this ability. Athena, Shield Wall, updated the description of this ability with the correct radius for this ability. Chuck, Thunderstrike, updated the description of this ability with the correct radius for this ability.
It's really fun watching you read all
Erlang
these.
Shan, Pin, updated the description of this ability with the correct radius for this ability.
Yeah, we still have a few more.
Got more left, bear with me. Fafnir. Oh, fix an issue where Fafnir could recall during the transformation back to dwarf form.
Yep.
He could recall?
Yeah, he could recall. You couldn't recall going from dwarf to dragon, but dragon to dwarf he could.
I didn't know that. Didn't work for me anyway. Freya, Valkyrie's discretion. Freya's ultimate should no longer hitch clicking to fire this ability.
Yeah, there was actually a problem. If you held it, it worked perfectly and it fired all 4 shots. If you spam clicked in certain situations, it would hitch and you would have a hard time firing them all.
So they can spam it.
Yeah, so now you can spam it and it should actually work.
Updated the description of this ability with the correct radius for this ability as well. Hoyi, Mark of the Golden Crow, updated the description of this ability with the correct range for this ability. Isis, Dispel Magic, updated this description of this ability with the correct radius for this ability. Just so you know, like I said, it's going to be a long patch note show. There is about 4 pages of this. Watch.
No, it's not 4 pages of
Cousin
that.
Bow, Sumo Slam. Sumo Slam should now properly be immune to roots during its duration. Cool.
Yeah, it would cleanse it at the start, but it wouldn't actually cleanse throughout.
New War, Clay Soldiers. Clay Soldiers should no longer scale with physical power.
Yep.
They were scaling with physical power.
Yeah, so if you got Fire Giant, you would actually, they would hurt a little harder.
Oh, okay. The Morrigan, Confusion. The Morrigan's Phantom will no longer add stacks to Isis passive when destroyed. That's good. Although that's a nerf to Isis, technically, right?
I mean, a little bit.
Changeling, when transformed into Kumbhakana and under the effects of his passive, the Morrigan will wait until she awakens from sleepy before turning back into herself.
Yes. Because you would actually transform midway through being sleepy.
That's a pretty good one, though. I kind of like that little interaction. Just fixing that. Fix an issue where target is from a Wheelix will persist after transforming into her. And Jing 10, Whirlwind of Rage and Steel. Fix an issue where using your ultimate on a knocked up target would cause them to not be thrown. And for anyone who didn't recognize any of those, I'll just read it again. Updated the description of this ability with the correct range for this ability. If you didn't know what most of those were.
That was almost all of them.
Now it's on to items, and there's a couple of pages of items up next, and we're going to start things off with a new yet returning relic.
Yes.
What is it?
Frenzy.
Frenzy is
Frenzy.
back. Belt of Frenzy is back, and these are the stats for it. All allied gods in 70 units gain a 10% increased damage to all targets and 15% attack speed increase for 5 seconds. While active, you gain plus 10 bonus damage towards objectives, and the upgraded version of that will give you an additional 10 penetration as well as those other things, and 8-second duration.
Yeah, so this is actually a little bit different than it was before. Before, it gave you bonus physical and magical power scaling.
Yes.
And that could only really help characters that actually had power scaling. If they rushed pen and had low damage and their base is really high, it didn't really help them. So now it's just 10% flat, so everyone can benefit from it pretty well. And it's just one of those things that people really wanted to see back. We were talking about like how we changed a few of the... Like, we had Frenzy as a ritual. We removed it. People were like, but I really want that as like maybe a relic, and so that's what we did.
And none of you are going to buy it again.
I don't know. I think it has some merit.
None of you are going to buy it.
I actually thought the old one had merit too, so maybe I'm just wrong.
I know, they complain about it, but they're not going to use it. And one person sent me a screenshot saying, look, I played it in one game. Next up, Blackthorn Hammer is an item that we've not seen for a little while, if at all, since it came out in Season 4. But this has had a health adjustment increased from 250 to 350.
Yes, so it has a very powerful passive effect where you drop below health, you get complete mana return on all your abilities. You get 3 seconds off of it. It can help you escape. It can help you engage. But the core stats for that passive weren't reliable enough to actually, like, when the passive triggered, it was really good. When the passive trigger didn't happen, it wasn't very good. And so the core stats behind it, so that's kind of thing that makes it good when the passive doesn't trigger, just were not enough to justify picking it up. So we're increasing its health by 150. This will make you a lot tankier, so you actually can kind of be in the middle of a fight more. 30% health is a little more health now because you have more health. So you could actually make more use of the passive as well.
Okay.
So I think it'll be pretty solid.
Back to relics again. We're going to see Cursed Ankh get a cooldown reduction from 150 seconds to 120 seconds, as well as the upgraded version of the Cursed Ankh will lower the cooldown from 100, I guess from 120 seconds to 100.
No, it was. They were both 150.
Got you. Okay, so just increase the duration.
Yeah, so it actually is reduced on the normal version and reduced to more for the upgrade.
Sure. So 100 seconds on the Cursed upgrade as well. Moving on to the next one, Gladiator's Shield. We've increased the physical protection from 40 to 45, I should say, and increased the percentage of health and mana restored from its passive from 2% to 2.5%.
So this is a bridge item, and kind of like Ikvul for hunters, where you get a very good power spike early on, but then it kind of peters off because it isn't a tier 3, it doesn't have full tier 3 stats. Eventually, other build choices will outweigh it. And so for what it was doing, it was just not quite there to do that. Right, it's a fine balance point. It's either way too good or way too bad. We want to make sure that we hit it. Some people experimented with the start of Season 4, kept it for a little while, and then it fell off. So we're just increasing the protection a little bit, and we're also making it so it restores a little bit more health, and we're going to see where that falls. Okay, well, we have a new item coming up next, but before we go into it on the scroll through, just talk to me about what the idea of this is going to be called Lono's Mask. Yes,
and
this is cool.
What's the whole idea behind this, first of all? Who's it aimed at? What's it designed for?
So it is for supports. It is a 500 gold mask similar to Ring does, which we had at the start of Season 4. And we're kind of experimenting with masks. We're seeing what they can do for characters that like they can get a starter and they can get a mask. This one is specifically for supports who want to assist and farm. So they will get a stack of permanent max health per stack they get of 2. It stacks up to 150 health total, so 75 stacks. And when you complete the stacks, you get 400 gold.
Okay.
You just get 400 gold. It's like turning in a quest.
He's read through it, but I'll go through it one more time for you. It's going to cost 500 gold. It's going to give you a passive of being within assist range of a minion or jungle camp monster dealing death without dealing the killing blow gives you a stack. Only the closest ally god in assist range with Lono's Mask gets a stack, and each stack provides 2 health. Stacks are permanent and stack up to 75 times. Upon reaching 75 stacks, you are given 400 gold. So you get 400 gold back as well as 75 stacks, which is 150 health.
Yeah, so you will have the base. It doesn't have really any base stats. It has a little bit of HP 5. You get the health for it at the end of it, and then you get the 400 gold for completing it.
Now, when I sell the item, does it still sell for 333 gold like Bombers?
It still sells for 333, and you don't have to refund the gold, and you can actually buy it again and stack it again if you wanted.
Or you could spend 733 gold on something else, but lose
Yes.
150 health.
Yeah, the big thing is you can essentially delay starting to build something like a Sovereignty for your team or a Gauntlet of Thebes for the potential higher payoff, especially if your team is more farm oriented.
Yep.
Otherwise, players will have to choose: do they want to rush the ore item or do they want to rush this to be a little more efficient later on?
Okay, well, we'll see if support start to play with that in the next patch as well. Next up is meditation is getting a bit of a nerf this patch, or at least an adjustment for sure.
It's a nerf towards the early game. It's relatively the same in the late game, and it also makes it so it's less inconsistent in its power.
Okay, sure. That makes sense. Well, we'll go for it. Meditation Cloak now heals for a flat amount, scaling with level. Heal change from 15% of the caster's maximum health to 75 plus 12 health per level. Change the mana restored from 35% of the caster's maximum mana to 30% of the target's maximum mana. So whatever your personal maximum mana is, that's how much you're going to get mana back.
Yes. And the big thing here is before it worked off the caster's health, so if the Guardian got it, it was very potent, especially that's what we saw at competitive level. People are picking this up, saving their carry very early, very effectively because it was off their health. But if a carry bought it or if someone a little bit more squishy bought it, it was not nearly as effective. So it's now even across the board. We lowered it for the top end from the Guardians, it's a little bit up for the Assassins, and so it's somewhere in the middle. So we'll see how that goes. And then target mana means that, like, if I'm a Guardian with very low mana and I pick this up for my team, I'm actually not helping my teammates much. But if I'm a character that would rather have more mana back because I have a higher mana pool, meditation will now restore more because it's the target's mana.
Got you. On top of that, the upgrade version, I'm pretty sure it just reads word for word, Pompon. I don't think you've checked this properly.
It reads word for word only because the upgrade had a change as well. So that's what that change is. But it does have the additional effect of the HP 5 and MP 5 that it gives. So that's more of a technical, because otherwise Meditation Cloak would sound like it was previously the same in the old patch.
Just give me a second.
It's not a bug fix.
Now I'm just going to read out exactly here. So we just fixed Pompon now. We've updated the description of this ability with the correct radius for this ability in Pompon's patch notes reading skills. Rage is up next, and Rage has got a new passive, Pompon.
Yeah, a completely new passive.
Again!
Yeah.
Let's see what this one does.
I think it's interesting.
So first of all, we increased the cost of Rage from 2200 to 2400 because it's going to have this passive. Killing or getting an assist on an enemy god gives you 1 stack. Each stack provides 1 critical strike chance. Stacks are permanent and stack up to 5 times. At 5 stacks, you gain an additional 10% critical strike chance. That's a lot of crit at the end.
So this was initially designed in Season 4 to be a source of really cheap crit.
Right.
And then it could have a higher payoff potential. But that higher payoff potential, if you already got a kill as a hunter or you're around a kill, you were probably winning the fight anyway. Felt more like a win more thing. You'd rather have more consistent damage output. So we changed it a little bit so that now it's a little more expensive. It's still a cheap source of crit. And then if you actually go through the motions of getting it stacked for taking that hit in your build curve, especially as a hunter, like taking a hit to your build curve is a pretty big deal. If you actually go through that and get the 5 stacks done, you now have a very cheap source of a lot of crit.
And it's an assist as well, so getting 5 kills with assist
have to be around.
Too bad in the mid to late game. We'll see the hunter pros out there. I'm sure
I think third, 4th item would be the sweet spot to pick this up because you need the base stats to provide for it, and then you can have enough time to actually get the build up. But it could be that people want to actually get more power curve on the 3rd or 4th item build. So we'll see what this falls.
Next up is Rune Forged Hammer. Rune Forged Hammer is going to have a health increase from 200 to 250. But not only that, we're going to increase the passive damage on crowd-controlled targets from 10% to 15%.
Yes. So for a lot of characters, Rune Forged Hammer is actually quite effective. Think of Hercules dashing into you, stunning you, and then hitting with a 10% increased damage boulder. It's now 15%. And the big thing is making sure that characters can actually make use of this, actually get the damage bonus. It's conditional damage, so you're not always going to have this apply to you, so the payoff has to be worth it when you can get to trigger, whether it's team synergy or character synergy. And we saw that it really fell off of use, so a little bit extra tankiness, a little bit extra damage should help that a little bit more often fit into builds.
Shield of the Regrowth is the next one.
This has a
Are we buffing
shift.
it?
No, it's a shift.
Oh, we're shifting it.
I think mostly this is overall a nerf, but it is a shift.
And the shift will be decreased CDR from 20% to 10%. On top of that, increased health from 200 to 300.
Yes, so we saw this item.
So health back.
Yeah, health back, cooldown gone. So the big thing is we saw this item kind of take off in Season 4, fit into a lot of healers builds, whether that was Chang'e, Aphrodite, or Hercules. We saw a lot of characters pick this up. We went through a few iterations of nerfing it because we were thinking maybe the health was too much, but after watching how it plays out for the first split, it's mainly, I think, the CDR that is enabling this item to be a little bit too effective.
Okay.
And so we wanted to tone that down, but we didn't want to just nerf, nerf, and then nerf again. We wanted to nerf the spot we feel like it needs to be adjusted, and then bring back some of that strength we nerfed previously.
Makes sense. Okay. Next up is Shillelagh, which I believe is part of the Blackthorn Hammer tree.
Yeah.
Shillelagh has had a health increase as well from 100 to 200, basically following the same conversation path of Blackthorn Hammer previously.
Making sure that when you're building into it, it doesn't feel like a huge detriment.
And on top of that, then Stone of Binding. Stone of Binding passive now triggers on all crowd control, not just on hard crowd control. Ooh.
So it functions now like Runeforged Hammer.
Okay.
So I think the good example for this, right, is Ymir.
Yeah.
Ymir could trigger it once, have the aura for
With
5
freeze.
seconds for his team with freeze, and then no more. No more throughout the fight. Now he can actually freeze, get the proc, 2 get the proc, ult get the proc, then he uses 2 again because Glacial Strike is on a super low cooldown. So characters, especially a lot of Guardians who have multiple forms of CC, can now chain this a lot more effectively, yes.
We buffed Cabrakan with this item.
We'll see how people feel about him after we get to God Balance.
Okay.
But yes, but essentially, it was hard to trigger effectively for a lot of Guardians. It's now a little more easy to trigger. You'll actually be able to keep the passive up through most of an engagement.
I'm finally in the item section. Yes, we've just got to the end of the items now. Sundering Spear upgrade has been not as upgraded.
Yep, it's
anymore.
a little bit nerfed.
Pretty much. Increased damage debuff from 30% to 25%.
That is technically correct statement.
Word choices are great here. And also increased the cooldown from 90 seconds to 100 seconds. Why have we done this?
So Sundering Spear actually was kind of really interesting. We saw a lot of people play with it. It's both a fun item and actually a pretty viable item.
Sure.
But the upgrade was giving a bit too much, bit too often. So we're just toning it down a hair. It'll deal a little bit less bonus damage to the target being hit. It'll happen a little bit less often.
Okay.
We're overall pretty happy with where it is, but just the upgrade was a little bit too much.
A little bit too strong. Okay, that's the end of items, and now it's on to gods. Whew. First up,
yeah, we have a lot this patch.
I know, we're just not going to stop because I've still got a new god at the end of the show. Don't forget about that. So stay tuned, even if you're getting bored like I am. We're saying the same words over and over again. Fixed an issue.
With range.
Ao Kuang is first one up, and Ao Kuang is going to get a water illusion change here. Minion damage can no longer break the stealth from water illusion.
Yeah, so you'll actually see this with Ao Kuang, Izanami, and the Morrigan. All their stealths previously break on, or they all break on damage, but minions could target them. A straight arrow shot could de-stealth them. We did some things to help Izanami, but there were still cases where Izanami could get popped out. So now we're just making it so that all those stealths only break on god damage now. Minion damage will no longer break them.
There you go. So that's Ao Kuang. Next up is a Wheelix Moonlit Charge. The mana cost of this ability is going to be going down. It was 85 at all ranks. It's now going to scale from 60 all the way up to 80. Why are we doing that?
She is an early kind of mid-game focused hunter, or not hunter, jungler. And so the mana cost on a skill that you generally only rank up once, especially in the early game, because you're prioritizing Feather Step, was really brutal. It kind of limited her gank potential, limited her farm potential. We're lowering it so it's a little bit easier for her to build. This is kind of different from like how we balance around like higher like late game characters, like Artemis, for example. Her mana pool is relatively the same in how it's like used and costed. She's a little bit lower, but she's also a late game character. Wheelix is more of an early game character, so she kind of needs the mana cost to really fight.
Makes sense. Cabrakan! Next up on the list, Cabrakan is getting some buffs this patch, and by buffs we mean nerfs, and by nerfs we mean reduced base physical protection from 23 to 20. So he was on the top edge of the Guardians alongside like Ymir, correct?
Yeah, he was really high up there, so he's being toned down a bit.
And on top of that, Tremor's damage has come down as well. It used to be 25 to 65 scaling. It's now going to be 22 to 62 scaling. But that's 3 damage per Tremor.
Yeah, 3 damage per Tremor. It works out so that if you were the only source of damage to the minion wave, it's going to be 2 more ticks of Tremor.
Right. That
gives more time for the Soul Unit to react to you. It gives more time for the Soul Unit to help clear against you. It gives more time just in general.
He's going to take more damage.
He's going to take more damage, especially now with the physical protection's base being a little bit lower. This is really, Cabrakan in the solo lane especially, with Mark of the Vanguard, was mitigating a ton of damage, being able to really exert. He tremored really effectively, and then he could pressure the enemy jungle and the enemy solo laner.
Sure.
These are very targeted nerfs to that solo lane potential, so that he can still do it, but it's going to be a little bit more dangerous. It's going to take a little bit longer, so that solo laners have more opportunity to react to it.
So we're well aware of the Cabrakan situation right now and trying to solve it. Hopefully this is the change that works out, but if not, we're going to continue looking at it.
Yep, we'll continue looking at him.
Next up is Kamazots as well. Some people mentioned about a buff here, and it's going to be a small buff here or there. Essence Drinker. Kamazots can now drink essence pools at full speed at all times, not necessarily just out of combat, whether or not in combat.
Yeah, so the big thing there is we kind of made some statements about in-combat healing, out-of-combat healing.
Yeah, sure.
And for a character that has to stand in the pool and be a very vulnerable target and like actually drink it, it felt weird that while in combat he couldn't do that if he opted to.
Sure.
So we're enabling him, especially because he's such a sustained character, he needs that health to kind of stay in a fight. We're just going to make it so he can drink it in combat at full speed. Again, he has to be very stationary to do it. You can very easily punish him if you want to. But if he finds the opportunity to do it, he should be rewarded for it.
And not only that, Devour. We've removed the brief delay on Devour's leap. Camazotz will now begin leaping and is untargetable as soon as this ability is activated.
Yeah, he would actually be on the ground for a little bit and then leap. And so now he'll still play that about the same animation, but he won't have that like 0.2 second period where he could be hit.
Gotcha.
And especially for a thing that has like you're untargetable during it, you can't take damage during it. It's used to avoid skills. Making sure you can actually reliably get that timing down and you're not going to clip those 2 seconds is really important. So this should give, especially high-level players, the ability to dodge damage more effectively.
Kurnanos is the next one up on the list, and Kurnanos has been around and people have been talking about him, so we're going to give him another little nerf dispatch. The nerf dispatch is on the Wild Hunt. We've reduced the radius from 30 to 25.
It was covering a little bit too much area. It was hitting too many people too often. It would be a really powerful crowd control effect applied to a whole team. Now it's going to be a little bit harder to hit. It's going to be easier to escape as the enemy player, so there's more counterplay opportunity there that wasn't there previously. Next
up is Hunbats. Hunbats is taking a couple of nerfs this patch. What's the reason for the nerfs, first of all?
He's doing really well. He's been doing overall really well at the start of Season 4. We saw in the LAN, especially recently, he was really, really dominant performance. He was like the top jungler overall. And we feel this is generally due to, we did a few changes in Season 4 about how kind of, how the meta kind of changed, how items changed. You can buy Bumbas and a starter item that helped us clear. Having a 40% slow at the start of the game was also really good for boxing potential and ganking. And so because he's been unchanged for so long, but the meta shifted in such a way that now before he was always like a 3rd or 4th tier jungler, now he's always the first pick jungler. We kind of have to hit him now. And the changes will be, as you can see on the screen, Somersault decreased the slow from 40% at all ranks to scaling from 20 to 40%. And Fido Evil has had 10 seconds added to its ultimate time from 90 seconds to 100. So his level 1 boxing potential is down because the slow is a little bit reduced. You have more ability to actually play around it. And the ultimate will just come up a little bit less often throughout the course of the game. Is an army. Her change this patch is going to be Fade Away, which we mentioned, very similar to earlier on. Ao Kuang, so we're going to do the same thing there, make sure it's a little bit more effective and not going to have the issues with Fade Away of minion break and damage. Cousin Bow is the next one on. The Nene Kappa. It's getting buffed. Yep. Nene Kappa now inherits 20% of Cousin Bow's current health and protections in addition to its base. It's pretty good. The big thing is Nene Kappa in the early game, he actually was able to get his damage off. Yeah, he's gonna be tanky, dude. He could get his damage off, people could kill it, and it was relatively feasible. But as you got to late game, hunters would just one-shot it and ignore it. It didn't get a chance to be effective. It didn't really get a chance to really disrupt the team fight. And so now it's going to inherit some of those protections. So the Nene Kappa will be present in a team fight, actually. It's like a 6v5 then with that thing, by the looks of it. We'll see. And if you get hit a ton, you can throw out more. You can. Just throw out Nene Kappas that are going to live for a really long time. Another buff that you may have heard of if you keep connected on social media, it leaks a little bit earlier on, is Nezhar's getting a bit of love this patch. Lotus plus ring equals ring, 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 lol. Was the teaser. Oh, is that what it was? That was actually the teaser. Well, the actual result is, as you can see on the screen, he's going to get one more additional bounce on his ring tosser, all ranks. It used to be 3 to 7, it's now going to be 4 to 8. What's the reasoning? He's been just underperforming in general. He has a lot of strengths, but they just weren't quite enough to make him there. We're giving him extra bounce because that'll help his jungle clear, it'll help his wave clear if he chooses to start in mid or solo lane. If he finds a good opportunity to get multiple bounces, it'll be a little bit more rewarded for it with one extra bounce. We'll see how this actually plays out with him, but it's just a slight upward adjustment to Universe Ring Toss so it can be more effective in more situations, which should hopefully bring him into the mid and late game a little bit better. Okay. On top of that, there's Nox next. Yes, we're still on N. That's how good the match is so far. We have a lot. Night Terror. We're going to decrease the cooldown from 90 seconds at all ranks, and it's going to go from 90, scaling all the way down to 70 seconds. So more often as the time goes on. Nox is a highly variable character. She can be very good at situations because she can really punish someone who get caught out with the 2 and the 1 combo. Sure. But oftentimes she can also do nothing in a team fight. She whisks her 2 and her 1. She doesn't contribute much, and she only has her ultimate to really contribute. We didn't want to buff the 2 and the 1 because she has been underperforming. The 3 we buffed a while back, and it's now in a pretty good spot. And so we really looked at the ultimate, and it has this really cool effect of reducing damage. But often players hold on to it for a really long time because it's a long cooldown. They want to use it when they have the opportunity to make sure they can get a kill. So we figured that it'd be good to reduce the cooldown put on that. So players felt, especially with max CDR, you could use that more often and sporadically in a team fight. You could use it to start a team fight and not feel as bad about it. And just gives her a little bit more consistency that she needs throughout the game.
After Nox, it's on to Sol, who's next on the list, and her Stellar Burst is getting a bit of a change this patch. Stellar Burst no longer has an in-hand penalty when firing.
Yeah, it used to function a lot like a basic attack. We've slowly changed the rules so it's more like an ability. This is further changing it, so now it's way more like an ability.
Sure.
Making it have the in-hand penalty on it just kind of felt weird, so we've removed it.
And 2 more gods to go. The second to last one is Susano. Yes, Susano's going to get a small change this patch. It's to do with Storm Qatar. Hydra's Lament will now only proc on this first stage of this ability, because it was procking every time, right?
So this is a twofold change. One is a consistency thing. Nemesis, for example, could dash twice, but also didn't get anything for it. So this makes it more consistent so that characters who have multi-stage abilities only get it once on their first cast. The second is he's one of those characters at a high level when players can actually execute his mechanics really well. He actually contributes quite a lot, but at the lower end level where he's a little bit more difficult, he struggles a bit. And so high level players are really the only ones that can utilize Storm Qatar really well, get all the Hydra's Lament procs, and that increases his damage output a ton. And so this nerf really targets the top end players, but really doesn't affect the bottom end players who weren't particularly doing well anyway. So very targeted adjustment for the competitive level with this removal as well.
Awesome. And then there's one more god to go, but technically I kind of trolled you a little bit because Pompon already leaked it. It's the Morrigan, which is her confusion ability, her escape, her silence, her stealth, Minion damage can no longer break the stealth from confusion anymore.
Now you won't be revealed and your plan's foiled.
It is. It is.
Pretty good.
You can get away. Pompon, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, we had a lot of rank changes, item bug fixes, god bug fixes, and a slew of balance changes. It's pretty cool.
An absolute slew. We'll see how those relics play out as well going forward. But with that, Pompon, you better go backstage to go and get,
Yeah, I have to get ready for the upcoming
new god. And with that, I'm going to show you the new god right now as the other guys come back on set. We'll be back in a second.
Whatever obstacles stand before us will be removed.
Too soon.
Guys,
too soon.
Can we talk about the elephant room?
I'm sure we can talk about the elephant room. Did you guys step on wires as you came on set? Talk to me again, you two. I can't hear you two now.
We're having some technical
We'll get those tech issues worked out, but I don't care about this anyway, because as long as I've got Chuck, we're okay.
I should never have gotten that close to you. You're all excited about it now.
Well, he designed this god, right?
Wait till I start rubbing. There we go. Mics are back.
We're back. Sorry about that, guys.
Don't be sorry. They can wait. It's no problem. They're used to it. It's how it goes.
Waiter.
Okay, Handyman.
So new god is out.
We made a Hindu. We made a Hindu god.
We made a Hindu god finally.
You are the Hindu man.
It is. What is it?
I believe it's Ganesh.
It's an elephant.
I don't care. I know it's Ganesh. I know it's 11. We leaked it last time. What role is it?
Oh, well, in that case, I think we should probably do another Guardian.
Yeah, he's an assassin.
Probably.
Look at him.
He's an assassin.
And he's got that,
he's so fast and has his hit points are
kind of
so
like
small.
Liam Neeson from Taken is his fighting style. So
I'd have been sold if it was an assassin just to see the troll of everybody going, what really is an assassin?
I'll put that on the list. Giant, bulky
Massive,
assassin
huge
for the
assassin.
future.
With stealth.
I'm sure there'll be no visual confusion there.
Sure. So let's start things off the right way. Fishman, tell me a little bit about the lore of Ganesh and why he's joined the background.
So,
or she.
The interesting thing about the Hindu pantheon is that it is a living religion, right? A lot of these are things that ancestors in different parts of the world worshipped, but this is something that's still worshipped today. And in fact, Ganesh is so widely worshipped that he, kind of like Robin Hood or King Arthur, has various versions of all of his stories because there's just so many people who follow Ganesh. But one of the versions is that you have Shiva and you have his wife Parvati. And she's taking a bath and Shiva comes and is like, hey, we got to talk or whatever. She's like, how are you just coming in here when I'm taking a bath? That's weird. And so she sculpts him out of clay, this child of hers, without telling Shiva. So the next time Shiva comes up and he sees this strange man standing outside of the room where his wife is bathing, and he's like, she might be in trouble. Who are you? And of course, neither of them recognize each other.
Sure.
So he Ganesh has this cane, and he like tries to beat Shiva away with the cane. He's like, "Don't come in here. My mama's in there. She's taking a bath. She doesn't want to see people right now." But Shiva's like, "That's my wife. I don't know who you are. You kind of creep me out." So he gets some gods and some demons. He's like, "We're gonna take this guy out. I'm gonna go make sure my wife's okay." Meanwhile, clearly
the whole time
communication
she's just taking a
is
bath,
the key.
right?
The
And he's like, "I'm gonna go
communication
get
is
some
the key
gods and demons. I'm coming right back."
to any relationship.
Listen
so
to
she's
your
like, "Oh, how am I gonna deal with
significant
this? I'm gonna get you 2 backup goddesses. They're gonna make you invulnerable." So Ganesh goes out there and he's gonna defend her, and then Shiva sends his gods and demons to go get him out, and then he distracts the 2 goddesses and they're like, "Oh, hey, look over there," and then cuts off Ganesh's head, and then Parvati's like, "That is our son. You just killed him. Fix this. You better make this right, or you're sleeping on the couch forever." So he finds the wisest creature in the area, which is an elephant, and he takes its head and he puts it on top of Ganesh.
And that's how the elephant got in the room.
Sure.
By being... No, I'm not even...
And then Ram actually comes up and does the same kind of thing where he's like, "Oh, hey, I want to go talk to Shiva."
Yeah.
And you know, Ganesh, he's a god of barriers and obstacles. And he's like, "I'm the obstacle. You're not getting in there to see him. Do you have an appointment?" And Ram's like, "Do you know who I am?" He's like, "I know you're not getting in here. That's who I know you are." So they fight, and he loses a tusk.
Oh.
Highlighted there.
Yep.
Talk to me about the card art and talk about the artwork that went into this then, Chuck. Because obviously it is a living religion, right? So we always take that into account as well.
It is. It was a very interesting challenge because we wanted to be kind of true to the lore and true to the imagery, but there's such a wide variety of imagery for this character. There's very feminine kind of cartoony-ish versions. There's, there's very kind of, the statue versions are very like intense and kind of reverential. So we were trying to mix a lot of those things. We want him to feel very wise and benefactory while also feeling like a big tough elephant dude because he's a guardian.
He's also been worshipped a long time
elephant.
too. So like the art has progressed from like very early art to much more modern art.
And it's really all over the place and we tried to reflect that in the recolor, which you'll see later.
Oh, we got a recolor for later, huh?
Oh yeah,
I'm excited.
It's a
about that.
very interesting recolor.
Is it?
Lore accurate.
Well, you had a little look at this last patch notes when Pompon, as usual, messed up with Fat Odin. But it's not Fat Odin, it's Ganesh. Is that a bowl of fruit?
Yes.
Of sweets. Yeah.
A bowl of treats. It's very important to his
all the
symbols.
supporters are excited about that.
So
We're all happy about that. We get to run at people and go, "Come here, I've got candy." It's great. Here, take my candy. It's great.
And he's got the lotus and the goad in his broken tusk.
That's right.
You want to talk about each of those?
Which he uses to open
please do.
envelopes.
Yeah, go over
Break
those
it down
symbols
for
real
us.
quick.
Let's go, Chuck.
Yeah,
Or
captive
fish,
audience.
the lore master fish.
I mean, the lotus flower has a lot of symbolism in not just Hindu, but several mythologies. And then there's also kind of similar to Kali, when you've got these arms, a lot of times what they're representing is dualities or variations on the things they can provide, like a good or an evil. He's normally good, but he could be like a passive or a protector kind of violent thing with the goad. The goad is kind of, pushing you on the path. Since he is the god of obstacles, originally, there's some like very concrete symbolism with him blocking the way into these rooms. But over time, that's become a metaphorical obstacle. It's like, oh, I'm going to remove your barriers to success.
Gotcha.
I'm going to become a god of wealth, a god of success. And kind of all that is represented by him. So, of course, he's got 4 different arms with 4 different objects to kind of speak to those various.
Well, you talk about God of Success and God of Wealth. The passive of this godfish, which I'm going to come to you for first of all, is called God of Fortune.
Good fortune.
Sorry, good fortune.
He is a god of fortune. But
He is
this
a god of
good
fortune. But good
that he's gonna
fortune.
share with you
What does this passive
passively.
mean?
So this is.
Oh, it changed. What's that? Whoa.
That's exactly. That's what we're looking at here is the passive. So when he stands far back by himself,
right,
which is the opposite of what he's doing now. Thanks,
So,
Pon.
the elephant comes up.
He's going to see his own face, and it's not glowing. It's not lit up. And what that is it's indicating his assist radius.
Okay.
If he gets closer to one of his allies, it's going to light up and show you that he's going to get assist credit from any kills that are in this range. That's the same as any god normally would.
Sure.
Except that if he gets a kill, he's not going to take credit for that kill. His ally, who's in that assist radius, as indicated by the passive meter, is going to get the kill credit, and he's going to get the assist.
Oh.
Because he's delivering kill
That's right.
bestowed.
He's removing the
Success.
obstacles to his hunter's success, to his solo, his mid success.
So you could actually, like, go for the kill secure for your team.
That's
and not
right.
worry about
you can
stealing
hard
kill from your
commit,
carries.
and you will never steal if your ally is in correct range. And since that's probably going to take away from a little bit of his gold and a little bit of his experience from the assist credit instead of the kill credit, he gets an increased assist range to help with that. Most gods, it's going to be 80 feet, and they're going to have 10 seconds after their last hit to get the assist credit. He's going to have 100 units and 15 seconds.
Right.
So
he
should
gets
be getting
a bigger
more
assist range
That's
overall
right.
with this.
So if he
he
wants
says
to
you get
roam
more.
back and forth, he'll have a better chance of getting the assist credits from lane on the minions. He's not gonna. He can last hit the wave, help his hunter clear, and he will never steal those kill credits. His hunter will always get those. Just kind of making your job, removing barriers from your support play.
Last hitting the wave is a really nice, like, kind of quality of life thing as a guardian. You can the wave can be almost low, almost dead, and your ability can come up cooldown. You can just clear it with as long as your hunter is there. Everything will be nice and divvied up as you'd hope, like as if you were min-maxing perfectly. If you're alone, he can of course get the last hits like he normally would, but as long as someone's nearby, he donates.
Whoa, you blew my mind then. Wait, it's not just on god kills, it's also on minion kills?
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
On minion kills too?
Yep.
Yes.
So
And
I'm
just
building stacks.
I know people are going to ask
Right.
this.
What
Sure.
about stacks? That's the question though. What
He'll
about
get
Hunter?
assist stacks, and his ally will get kill stacks.
Do
If
the
it's-
hunter gets stacks of their like transcendence and things?
They
That's what I'm
will.
asking.
Yes.
Shibalanke will get stacks of his passive.
Mr. Jibble.
Kill someone.
Kali will refresh based on her passive
As if she
he
got the
kills
kill.
her target.
Then it works through the kill logic.
I'm not the one on the patch notes to say swear words, but well shit. That sounds pretty good actually.
Yeah, well, Team is not here, so you get one.
Yeah, I had
you
to
get
get
one.
one.
And just
for the
because I know
comment
people are
on
going to ask this, the way it decides who gets it if you have multiple allies,
Yeah.
it's the one who's closest to Ganesh.
Right, okay. So if you have a hunter and an assassin fighting with Ganesh, if Ganesh is close to the assassin gets another hunter.
That's right.
And
Makes
Ganesh
sense.
gets the kill. Rare scenario, but of course,
Okay.
we got it covered.
Now
Okay.
check out when his flower and his sweets reappear. It's amazing.
God, let's wait for the sweeties.
Just going to pull him out like a gentleman.
Whenever you watch, it feels like forever, but when
Slowly
you're playing,
wait for
it
the
happens all the
candy.
time. Make sure you don't do anything, Pawn.
Nothing.
That's dope.
Nice.
That was pretty
That
cool.
was worth waiting for.
Yeah,
I was like,
see.
is this one of those Chuck things again where we sit and look at a cloak that doesn't do anything different?
Oh man.
We're a 3D artist. You appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm
You guys are
just.
just going at it today. Never put these two next to each other on the show.
We're always next to
They have
each
a
other.
good back
Feral
and forth.
cats.
We just got closer. That's the other thing. With more and more episodes that can go. But earlier on, Pon showed ability 1 for us, which is called Turn of Fate. AJ, what exactly does this do?
Right, so this is a line projectile, passes through targets, dealing damage, and it has a unique little, kind of a balance feature here where if it hits enemies, for every enemy hit up to 5, it emanates out a buff to Ganesh's allies.
Which we can see on Odin there.
Right, you can see on that Odin right there. This is a really cool thing because we don't really have a projectile that has buffs and damage to allies in the same kind of configuration as this.
Yeah.
It really incentivizes you as Ganesh to hit a bunch of targets and spoil abilities that we're not talking about yet. It really incentivizes you to hit a bunch of targets with this.
Pop sounds to move it along.
It's got a big radius too for the buff radius, so it's you shouldn't really have to worry about kind of tiptoeing on that line. Like if you're in lane with Ganesh, you'll be getting this buff, and it'll help you lane clear a lot as well. So if you Ganesh one first, and then your hunter can follow right up, you're going to get a big damage spike there because the buff is actually quite significant up to, remind me the number
I'm going to have bonus
exactly.
damage per stack 2%.
So
Bonus
up to
damage per stack.
10%. That's damage percent, which is very strong, and it's not power, it's actual damage 10% more if you're fully buffed by
Is it
Ganesh.
only it's on God hits or?
It's on all hits.
All hits.
Triggers
Clear the
buff
wave,
to out.
make
Yeah,
your-
you clear the wave, get the damage.
So as long as it hits targets, it gives the buff out to your team instead of nearby.
It is a relatively short duration buff, so this is not like you can just walk
Forever,
around
yeah.
forever enjoying this. You need to kind of coordinate with your Ganesh when you're playing with him to get this to max out of it,
But
which
if
is
your
really
teammate is going in hard early, you
Now's the
can
time.
shoot it down the minion wave. And
fun. Yep.
Well, that's ability 1, which is called Turn of Fate, as long as Pompon stops trying to kill people.
The range on that is 55, which is if your allies are in range of a basic attack, or if your allies are in range of the smaller 2, which we're about to see, they're definitely in range of the buff.
Speaking of the 2, it's called Ohm.
Yeah, guess what that does?
I'm guessing he does something where... Let me guess. He does that because Pompon keeps leaking it.
That's right. That's right.
What does that do exactly,
So
Fishman?
he's speaking the universal syllable. And what he's doing is he's being non-violent here. He is that circle is indicating that the radius at which his allies gain protections, pretty substantial protections at rank 5. And that cone that you see in the center there
Yeah, what's
is
that?
what his enemies have to worry about. While they're in that, they are continuously silenced.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is some pretty serious lockdown.
Yes.
You're shutting down enemy abilities with the silence, and you're shutting down enemy basic attacks from hunters and assassins with the protection buff.
So the area all the way around that circle you see is protection for your team.
That's
and
right.
that tiny little cone in the middle is where all the silence is.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
And from an enemy team, you'll get some, you know, the friendly enemy type of effects, which will make it clear that the cone is what you're concerned about as an enemy, and the circle is a lot more dim. It makes sense.
You won't even see the circle.
Yeah, you won't even see the circle, yeah, because make this clear that Ganesh is the one silencing you with this
Pretty
cone.
good for engaging or disengaging your teammates as well, buffing them at the same time as trying to stop people and heal. So,
However, also it is short-lived, and he can't do anything else during that.
That's
right,
true.
It's a channeled ability.
And he can be interrupted out of it, like with the Ymir freeze.
Right.
So
you got to sneak
you
up
got to
behind
do it
him,
before
though.
he can turn around and go, no.
Yeah. If you're quick on your camera, you can interrupt a lot of stuff with this
I'm looking
ability.
forward to skins for this god already with some of these ability names. I'm pretty sure. Next up is the ability 3, which AJ, would you like to talk us through? It's called Remove Obstacles. I guess things move out of the way.
Well, you'd think that, but it does a lot of other things. And we'll get to that part later. It's
a dash.
So this is a dash. Yeah, this is a straight line dash that's going to collide with any god's hit, and it's going to pass through minions.
Man, I love that sound.
I love the sound and the animation. The screen actually shakes a little bit to really get you that elephant stampede charge feel. So if you hit a god with this, it's going to do a little grab animation here, which is a stun into a knock-up. So yeah, let's get someone out in the open so we can see. So you get
punches him 3 times and then throws him in the air.
A big creature elephant with these big arms. We wanted something where he was really using them. So you dash up to an enemy god. It's gonna stun them briefly, hit them twice, and then throw them up in the air, which is so technically three hits of damage.
And a knock-up as well.
And they only go straight up. It's not a Mercury style.
It's a straight up
action.
But it's really good for like comboing with a Willix. You can see very clearly when it's going to throw up.
Ohm as well.
Warns you. Yeah. So Ganesh is really good at locking down a single enemy god with his 3-2 combo. If you go into this, into that, you get a tough time getting away from him.
Okay. So that ability as
But he definitely needs somebody to follow up that action.
I mean, he's very much a supporty guardian. So.
Now, I also understand this can go through player-made objects as well. Is that
exactly?
correct?
That's what we're talking about, our obstacles. So actually, you can dash through Ymir wall with this. You can get.
Does it break Ymir wall?
It does not, but
you can go through it.
It lets him go through them.
What about Odin Ring? You can go through Odin Ring then?
All player-made walls and blockers.
Oh, so not
pillar.
Not walls on the map, but player-made walls.
Player-made walls. He can go through with it.
Interesting.
Bracken.
And we talked about smashing them, but the cooldown is you can do this a lot.
And especially like if figuring out how to explain that it couldn't work on Odin, but could work on other ones if you could break it, and not have him break an ultimate. So.
Smashing Odin wall is really pretty rough on balance.
Remove the obstacle of the enemy god.
That'd
Pass
be
through the
hard
obstacle
counter.
of the wall.
Yeah.
Hard counter. So he can just use it to go through them, which is nice in certain scenarios, but not necessarily something you want to pick him for directly. Maybe though.
Well, I've lost the last page of my book, so I don't know what the fourth ability is called.
Well, it's pretty.
I haven't even been out. But Fishman, why don't you tell me?
I believe it's the Dharmic Pillars.
The Dharmic Pillars.
That's right.
I've seen this before
might
somewhere.
Look familiar
Have
if you were
not.
an old school SMITE player.
Did we rip it off from another game?
No.
Oh.
Maybe.
Or was it Nuwa?
From Global Agenda, I believe.
AKA Old Wa.
Is that what I think it's gonna do? Oh my god!
Sure.
Is Shake and Bake back?
Is Shake and Bake.
So let's talk about Shake and Bake. Shake and Bake was one of the issues with the original
Let's
Old
talk
Wa
about
Ult.
baking and shaking.
Is when they first did the Nuwa Ultimate, she could cast out the pillars with these lines, and anybody who was on them would take damage. And so what you do is you'd have Fenrir go grab somebody and just wiggle the mouse in and out of those lines, and it would apply damage every time they came in contact with it. And we actually solved this on the Old Wa Ultimate by making it so that it couldn't apply more than once every X seconds.
Okay.
And we've kept that fix here. So no matter how you wiggle your mouse with a Fenrir, they're still...
You're on camera.
So,
Joke.
don't get us wrong, that is a very strong ultimate synergy,
is.
but there
Sure.
are tons of those in the game. It's not like it's game-breaking anymore. It doesn't do an absurd amount of damage, but it does do a lot.
Sure,
And
if
if you're
they're-
going to invest 2 ultimates on the player anyway, there's a lot that can be equally potent. So.
If you can lock someone in here for the full 6 seconds, they will take a lot of damage. It's more likely that they'll pass through it once if you cast it around them, or maybe twice if you put it in such a way that they have to cross a corner. And yeah, and you can actually combo it with some of your other lockdown if they're on it.
And it looks easy on an Odin that isn't moving.
Yeah.
But in practice...
Sure, it's much easier if you get a teammate to lock them down beforehand, then you cast it onto them while they're still, and then you can follow up with your 3. Trying to land the ult 3 combo by yourself is very tricky.
So we see it does damage, but it does more than does damage.
That's
correct?
right. Passing through it, nothing happens in the center. But when you pass through it,
just the lines.
The lines. That's right. So the 4 outer pillars are blockers, and if you pass through those energy lines in between them, you take the damage for as long as you're on there. Every half second. You are also slowed for 3 seconds, and your protections are shredded for 3 seconds. Okay. So between this and the 1, you can substantially increase the damage that your team is doing to these guys.
But you can leap out of it.
Sure.
And
That's
not
right.
take any of that
That's
damage, right? I just want to make sure for the advanced arms that you can just leap out, but if you go past through that, you're going to take protection shred, a slow, and damage.
That's right.
Ooh. Welcome back. I've missed that ability, to be fair.
Yeah, the pillars. The pillars have returned. It's one that we've always heard from our fans and people who've played Smite for a long time that wanted it back. So with the god who's creating and removing obstacles, it's like that just made so much sense.
The most unique obstacle we may have ever had.
And a nice zoning ability makes sense for a guardian. It's working out well.
Man, I love the sound design on this guy.
The sound is really
good. They did a really
I love
good job.
the wub-wubs on the ultimate.
Yeah. And I love the charge noise.
And what Pom-Pom's showing you there is that those pillars are actually hard objects right now.
But
if you walk against, because he's got his 3, he can
go through
all those obstacles.
Can we do a couple basics, like a full rotation? So what you'll see is he's actually got, he smacks him with his trunk. It doesn't do any
hit chain, right?
Yep,
Fish?
that's right.
It's a very interesting hit chain for a guardian too, which is just fun.
And it ends on the trunk swap. So.
The more you know, you can just see him dancing in and out of radius as well. What fun have you had with him in playtest? Is he designed to be a supportive guardian, or can he solo? Can he jungle?
Sure. So 2 gods ago we had Kuzumbo.
Yes.
And he was a much more aggressive, in-your-face, like solo lane even guardian. So when we do them this close together, we want to very distinctly differentiate them. So where Kuzumbo is all about like moving you, displacing you, Ganesh wants to keep you in place. Ganesh wants to lock you down, and Ganesh wants to let his teammates do most of the job. And this kit is kind of built around that. The most fun we had was with the knock up into the silence combo, getting that feeling right, and particularly before it was balanced a little bit down to where it is currently, that was really strong and felt really good.
So the knock up on that as well, because obviously it's a stun first, but how large is the knock up? It looks a little bit bigger than Geb's too, but a little bit.
It's around the same ballpark. It's shorter than most of our knockups, but it's in that Geb range where it's going to keep him. It's going to keep him in that spot, but it's not going to keep him out of the play space for very long at all.
Sure. Pom-Pom's just getting as many pentakill kills as he can. And
sure.
Actually, he's not actually. He's giving assist to the Odin to get those pentakill. Look at
Odin
Odin's got
wasn't
to level
close enough
6
for that.
now. That Odin's got to level 6.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that's how much he's leveling
Ganesh
up.
can level his bots.
So there's level 7, yep.
So you really, truly
Odin
can
has a pentakill.
potentially carry your team with this god by giving them kills.
Sure.
That's actually pretty good. Really, really cool. Any other interesting facts or things that we never saw in this that you tried to work or anything like that?
Well, we definitely tried like him taking damage instead of his allies.
Oh.
And that was super strong. Because he would build meditate and undo, and then he would keep one of his allies from dying, and he just wouldn't care because he had a bunch of health and meditate and undo. So
pain split harder to do than it sounds.
Yeah.
We tried a lot of variations on the 1 and the 2 with slightly differing effects. You know, I'm really happy with how we ended up with the 1. With the it's incentivized to hit multiple targets, but you get a ally team buff off of it, and it's a aggressive buff, not like a protections or a heal or something like that, which is just a really unique dynamic for a guardian ability that's seems simple on the surface, but has a lot of different implications on how you use it and how your teammates can make the best of it, which is just really fun when we're getting deeper into the god roster.
And it also it looks like some of our other projectiles as far as the way it presents, but its range is actually a little bit shorter. And between that and the 2, it kind of encourages for him to be at the front of his team, and right up next to the enemy.
Yeah, that was one thing we agreed on pretty early on Ganesh. We wanted him up in the fight too.
Right.
Like, although he's a very supportive guardian, we didn't want him like backline Geb, like peeling and Kepri.
So
we wanted him
Kraken sort of style in your face.
But a more protective supporty, which is a pretty unique role for a Guardian in Smite.
Sure.
I'm just really happy with the way he turned out, like his art and his sounds.
Looks
like,
amazing.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the art a little bit more because I know Chuck really wanted to harp on this.
Hold on, I have a question.
Here we go. I was actually setting you up to do what you wanted, you know. So.
Do we think the reason that chat thinks things are OP is because Pawn kills 50 Odins that are level 1 while he's level 20 in the map?
Maybe they just know how good Pawn is
for this whole thing.
That's actually where I made the comment earlier about the level 20 Scylla not doing any damage to Odin, is because this is a very conspicuous testing ground. It's just for the convenience of us demonstrating stuff. It's not at all representative of their actual power.
Oh no, don't do this.
No, we're gonna see what full power Ganesh looks like.
Yeah, I think so.
I believe Pawn.
You did this. You did this.
But it's level 1 Odin, so
it's just the amount of damage.
No. Prove my point, Pawn. Let's do it.
A
Prove
fly
my
could
point.
sneeze and they die anyway. So I definitely think we have some people who, if you're doing something else while you're watching the stream, it comes off like that. But I think we try to communicate. This is the testing scenario.
Hey, Pawn tried to play some damage Ganesh yesterday. It was not as successful as the support Ganesh. Although Pawn will carry you, but
we'll go back
I don't know if damage Ganesh is the way to do
it.
Yeah.
Back towards the art again, though. I believe Chuck did say something about a recolor.
Wait, we didn't listen to the voice pack yet.
Oh, you want the voice pack first? All right, fine.
Yeah,
You don't get the recolor then.
No, we have to do both.
Well, he's going to ask for the recolor while you're listening to the voice pack.
Calling the shots now?
I am now. I always have been. Just because you guys seem to be more comfortable all of a sudden. You
Prove
don't
it,
seem to think.
All right, I feel like
Prove
we
it.
could
Close the
override you
show.
in a vote.
Oh, yeah, we do outnumber you.
I can just pull the plug on the show. It's not average.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you're in charge. That means you're going
No,
to
I
jail.
know. That's
Who
going to jail.
wants to hear the voice pack and then do the recolor? I thought AJ was just going to leave me hanging there for a second.
I was
Importantly,
just mesmerized
production
by his
is spoken
recall.
over the headsets that's what we're going to do, and that's the vote that really matters.
I'm just waiting for you to all shut up so we can hear the voice pack if you want to hear it so bad.
Contemplate silence. You are the universe. How fortunate. I am the great god at the gate.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
That's not going to get spammed.
That's a top tier woohoo.
When you're the only obstacle to my victory, it is assured. If you've deluded yourself into thinking you can stop me, you are mistaken. This is a battle I'll never forget. I don't like any barriers between myself and a vacation. That's why I always pack my trunk.
Oh, God.
We gotta have one. Gotta have one. I love his taunt animation too. He takes his bowl of treats and just transfers which hand it's in, and like offers it, and then goes no, and then he eats one. He's like, yo, you want a treat? Psych.
I actually like the voice pack as well because it kind of fits him as a regal sort of character.
Oh,
as well,
yeah.
so.
We worked really hard to be sensitive to, like, since this is somebody that people actually worship, to do him justice and not be overly silly in a way that would be offensive. So.
Sure, always the focus, especially with the active religions as well. Yeah. We do also have the recolor then, which I know Chuck was asking about because he wanted to talk about the recolor a little bit.
So you see,
I don't see. I do see now.
There it is.
So see this.
It's pink.
Yes.
It's a pink elephant.
And you know, do some googling.
Yeah.
There is a lot. And when I pitched this in the modeling meeting, they were like, "It can't be this pink. We're not gonna. What is that?"
I was there,
like,
and
nope.
I was also shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
I'll admit,
And
I was
like-
against the pink.
I'm like, we're making him internet pink. We're doing it.
Yeah.
This is accurate in a lot of the
It's
imagery.
very accurate.
Yeah,
there is
that's
tons
really
of
why.
imagery of him where he is intensely
That looks
pink.
dope.
Yeah,
That
it
looks
looks really
it's amazing.
cool.
It turned out amazing.
That looks really good. I like it.
All those treats seem a little spoiled.
Is that all you wanted to say? Was like,
No, it's just
listen,
a different-
pink is okay. Is
Those
that
are
all you wanted to
dates.
say? Pink is normal.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Yep, I was
You-
like, I want
you do
hot
you.
pink in the lows and bubblegum in the highs and a cyan key off with
Yeah.
an orange transition.
It would have been fair to interpret.
I know
his
Chad
base skin
appreciates
like
the
this.
detail that you're going into that.
I just heard pink. I didn't know the other words that came out of his mouth after that. I just knew pink.
I mean, look at
I
that.
know the words. I just don't know what they refer to on a color scale.
It's a cool
That
recolor.
looks great.
Everyone
So-
did a great job.
Yeah.
Simon did an amazing job. Animation, did an
Animation,
awesome
yeah,
job.
animation had to work double time on this guy.
because he's got a lot of
PTS.
appendages.
Yeah.
He's
we
got
have
twice
any
the
word
arms and a trunk.
On PTS as a final thing.
That's
for
a
now.
Chris question. I think
Chris
it's
isn't
looking
here.
pretty good. I think
So-
we'll probably have PTS pretty soon.
Okay, so
I
just
don't know
keep an eye
if
on
any
Reddit and
show-stopping
Twitter
bugs.
for when
Yeah,
it's available.
keep an eye out for the Twitter. Usually, High Res Chris on Twitter will give you that PTS
Awesome.
info.
And this
most
should be
likely.
out next Tuesday as well.
Yeah, we'll see everybody playing with the summer split patch, big balance, new god, reset your ranks. A lot of changes. Pon did an amazing job with all of those, so it's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good patch.
And that's pretty much all we've got time for. Then I guess if that's all there is to go through. Chuck, any
that's
final
it.
words?
Play a voice back. He'll talk.
Any final words?
Got him.
No. You good?
Got him.
Fishman.
Hope you enjoy him.
AJ.
Yeah. Play Ganesh.
And with that, I will close the show with saying updated the description of this ability with the correct range for this ability. We'll see you all next time on the Patch Note Show in 2 weeks.